guys, and welcome to the Spoils of Pandaria Arcane Mage guide. In this guide, we're going to cover talents, glyphs, and the tips and tricks that you need to know in order to maximize your DPS on this fight. Let's get right into the talents that are optional here. Temporal Shield versus Ice Barrier. Again, for this fight, I'm always taking Temporal Shield. I just don't see the justification in wasting that global cooldown with all the adds, all the dot uptime, and all the damage that you can do and that you have to do with things like sparks and stuff like that. I just don't understand how you can really afford to waste that global cooldown. It is so precious in this fight, especially as the fight ramps up. And also with that, there's really not a ton of unavoidable damage coming out here. So I just don't see the need for that at all in this fight. But again, if you want to use Ice Barrier, go ahead and feel free. You are a little bit safer by using it as always. As far as the Greater Invis, Cauterize, and Cold Snap row, definitely Greater Invis. The reason you want Greater Invis is because if you get set to blow, you can actually negate the ability. So you can blink out, Greater Invis, let set to blow go off, come back in, and you don't have to drop the bombs on the ground, which means that the raid doesn't have to deal with them, which means that they have more room to move around. There's less room to make an error. It's just a lot better for your raid if you do that. The other nice thing about that is the fact that it's on a shorter cooldown, so you can do it every 2 minutes. Now, keep in mind you also have Ice Block, so you can do the same thing. So you can actually negate 2 rounds of set to blow. If you get a third, then you're dropping bombs. But if you don't get a third, you're fine, so keep that in mind. As far as dots go, obviously here we want Nether Tempest. There are so many adds, and because they have a chance to proc Arcane Missiles here, we really want Nether Tempest on this fight. And we need to pummel damage. Remember, sparks are key here. So you need to be able to turn and burn down those sparks. So what you want to do is, as Arcane, we can do the second most damage than anybody else to those things. The only thing that can really do more damage than us in that short of a period of time is a Destro Chaos Bolt. Other than that, we should be winning that battle every single time. We should just be literally pummeling damage into those things, trying to get our Arcane Missile proc, and then back on the main target. Between us and a Warlock, we should have no problem destroying any of those. So keep that in mind. That's really one of the big things. As far as Glyph goes, let's look at what we have. I like Double Blink, again, mainly for the set to blow part. There's not a ton of movement in this fight, so you really don't need Double Blink. But I just like to be able to blink out, take care of set to blow, and blink back in. That's really the only ability that I care about using Double Blink at. So it's really up to you that way. As far as other glyphs, I like Arcane Power actually on this fight as well. The reason being is because there's really only a couple of real burst phases. Everything else is just, make sure that you're doing as much damage as possible and burning down the kill target that you're supposed to be burning down. Having those extra, those extra cooldowns, while it may be beneficial in certain cases, for the most part, you can get away with popping your Arcane Power at the beginning of each room, and then that way those pandas or those Pandarians are going down. You can get your healers are buff. You can get everybody will stop getting sucked in quicker. You can get the big guys that count for a lot of points. You can start to really pummel some damage into those to get those guys off the tank as quick as possible. I just think it's the most efficient time to use those. And to be honest, at least the way that we pull it, you don't really need to have the 4 Arcane Powers as opposed to just 2 giant ones. I find that a little bit more beneficial to the raid, but again, that's just me. You might get a little bit more DPS if you have it constantly, and you have time to pop it twice throughout each rotation. So keep that in mind, that might actually help you. And then the other glyph that you can use is, again, you can switch, Evocation. That's what I tend to use, is Evocation. Sorry, a bird just flew into the window. That was weird. Evocation, so keep that in mind. That's what I use. You can really use anything you want as your third choice. Glyphs aren't a monstrous deal on this fight. Some people will use Cone of Cold in case there's a big group of adds. Some people will even use Arcane Explosion. It really just depends what works best for you. But that's really it, guys, as far as tips and tricks as well. Just keep in mind that set to blow is the biggest thing you have to deal with. Dotting everything is so important as an Arcane Mage, and understanding when your stacks are going to fall off, when they're not. how to use your missile procs properly. Remember, you can't have more than 2, so if you got 2 missile procs, waste 1. You know, find your kill target or find a target that needs to die quickly, slam off some missiles, and then keep redotting. Make sure you're getting your procs out there as quickly as humanly possible. But if you do those things, guys, you shouldn't have any problem in this fight at all. Hope you guys like this one, and as always, see you in the next one.